What's going on, faithful?
What's up?
It's
What's
your,
up?
it's your always faithful 24/7 guys and brothers in here. Yo, what's up, my brother Jizzle?
Hey, how's it going, Ryan?
What's up, man? Yeah, some of our brothers won't be here tonight, so hopefully Marco will pop in. Hopefully, he said he'll pop in. So, yeah, we won't have Lawrence and we won't have Troy. But yes, Troy is out of hospital. He's back home. He's relaxed. He's chilling. So that's the word on him. All right, guys. So what's going on, Jizzle, man? What's going on, man?
It's a lot going on, man. It's a big weekend right here. This is do or die. All the chips are on the table.
You got that right, man. A lot of chips are on the table, man. A lot of shit,
Mm.
you know. So yeah, so far, you know, been hearing a lot of things about Jimmy G, of course.
Yeah, it's a never ending discussion. You know what I mean? I was just talking with one of my friends, and I was just saying, man, I'll be glad when we're just down to one quarterback because when you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Is the old saying said.
I got you, man. I got you on that, dude. I do. Believe me, I'm there with you. Yeah, man. It's been a hectic time talking about that crap. It is, man.
Yeah,
So I know we're only be here for maybe an hour, not even an hour. So I gotta pick my wifey up, and we're gonna just have everybody here tonight, just me and Jizzle. So I'm just gonna show you guys some new stuff I found, and basically that's it. So just give me a few, maybe a couple seconds here, guys. I'll get you guys started. Okay, so hold on. And of course, I hit the wrong button. Of course, that's one way to start it out. Got you. I know you're clicking. Sorry about clicking in the background. Sorry. All right. And the best way I could do is do this. Is my messenger, by the way. So it's my messenger. You can see that, right?
yeah.
All right. Okay, here, guys. Here's the first one I saw. See if I can pop it on here. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it does work. Okay. Here we go. I need to pray. Here you go.
That's the one from earlier today. Oh, that's from a couple days ago.
So yeah, what you think about that, man?
Um, well, basically, I think that Jimmy did look his throws look pretty good. They weren't asking him to put a lot of torque on it.
Yeah,
So I mean, I don't know how hard it is to just spin a spiral from 10 yards away when your thumb is compromised. But
yeah,
um, if he can do that in the game under a game setting with people going after that thumb, and maybe you hit it on a helmet or whatever, then maybe it could work. Because the I feel the way to beat the Rams is through the short passing game and getting the ball off quick. You know what I mean? Negate the pass rush because that's what pretty much negates Aaron Donald's pass rush is getting the ball off quick. But I mean, doing
yeah.
it in practice is a lot different than in game situations. You know?
Yeah, I got you, man. It's way different. Practice is way different in real life game. It is
Yeah,
way
live
different, man.
action when
Yes.
defenders are going to be going after that throwing hand. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, guys. Try and bounce off this way because my computer won't let me download. I don't know why, but better off this way anyway. His first limit practice. Here we go. Oops, sorry.
This the one where he threw the Kittle. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
hmm
Yeah, I got something to say about that later on too.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, it was only a short one. Tell by the way it looked. I'm looking for that one I wanted to see. Here's another one. I don't think it's the same one. Is it the same one? Oh, it is. My bad. My bad, guys. The same one. Never mind. Here goes. Here's one with the yeah. The one he goes. Jeez. Here's the one with Kittle,
Yeah.
guys. Yep.
Yeah.
Here's one with Kittle, guys. Here it is. Yeah. Ouch. Jeez. That was a fast zipper. I love when you said that. That was funny. We all know how Kittle is though.
It's not playing on the screen though.
Oh, wasn't that playing on the stream?
Nah.
Oh, man, you man, I messed that up. Are you serious? Oh my god. I'm not good doing that stuff at all. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sorry guys if I didn't play it right. Sorry. My
Nah.
apologies on that. Oh my goodness, drive me nuts. But I guess I got to work on it. That's all. I'm sorry, guys. But
Nah, it's
yeah,
all good.
I mean, jeez, phone's going off. But
But basically, what I have to say about that is, so they
sorry
had the
guys.
one with Kittle. Anyways, he's throwing a couple ones to Kittle, and Kittle's like, "Yeah, man, well, look at that zip." And then he has the one with Debo after that, and Debo's like, "Jimmy looked like Jimmy." So here's why I think that's a smokescreen. Basically, is because Kyle Shanahan wouldn't let the players. He would coach them not to reveal uh, who he thinks is going to be the starter. So if they're pointing to Jimmy, then it's got to be Trey Lance. You know what I mean? That's just what I.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. It's you're one of them, man. That's what reason why I based this one off of Trey or Jimmy, who's started for Sunday.
Yeah, and then limited walkthrough. Not a practice, limited walkthrough today. So I think they just realized they don't want to take reps away from the guy that was actually going to start. And here's the thing, too, for me is so if you were to put Jimmy in, he can't make it through the game. But you kind of went through the install and you got reps going for him. You're putting Trey Lance in a bad situation by just you could have gave him all the snaps and the preparation that went to Jimmy, and now oh wait now Jimmy hurt his thumb again. Come bail us out. That's not how that works, you know.
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, you're gonna take one quarterback out. He did great in the last game, and now you're gonna put another guy who just had a bad thumb, so to
Right.
say, and now he's throwing zippers and everything, and Who knows what Kyle's going to go do this weekend? Who knows? I mean,
It's just a, it's a mind fuck for McVay though. That's what I think. That's what he's holding up his end of the bargain with is that he's gonna keep us guessing at the end of the day.
yeah. Do you I seen that on Twitter though. I think it was earlier today, and I forget who posted. I don't know if it was Matt Miogo or Burrow or Sheffer. It said, "What if?" I don't know if you saw it on Twitter yet, but what if Cal used a two-back quarterback system this weekend?
I saw that, and
I saw that too. I know.
I think David Lombardi said the same thing too. So Matt
That,
Miogo said it.
yeah, that might have been who it was, David Lombardi.
Yeah, David Lombardi said that, and he wrote a whole article in Athletic. I subscribe. I read it, and honestly, he makes a lot of good points. This would be the perfect game to debut the two quarterback offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's certain shotgun formations that Jimmy's more comfortable with, where they get the ball is predicated off getting the ball out and the flats quick. And Trey Lance is going to be the longer developing routes where he can actually use the scrambling and maybe bootlegs to buy more opportunities outside the pocket. So it's it's something that if you're a defensive coordinator to keep you up late at night.
Yeah, I got you, man. Let's see who this was. Huh, I don't know who that is even. David Perks. I don't.
He
Yeah, I
always
don't
keeps up
understand that language, but I don't know what you were talking about. That's not. I don't think that's English. I'm sorry, man, but I don't understand that. I'm sorry. I apologize about your language, but I don't understand that. I'm sorry, man. All right. Cool. If you can say it back to me in English, I'll be proud to put back up here and then we know what you're talking about. Okay, man. All right, no doubt.
right.
So yeah, man. I'm I don't know. I'm confused now because Jimmy. I think I don't know. Jimmy just confuses you. He
Yeah.
does. He confuses you, and I don't know if he just was he knew he was hurting in the Texas game, and then he told how come like everybody's been saying, how come he didn't come forward and say, Kyle, my thumb really hurts.
Hmm.
Put my back up and put Lance in. All right, let him take my rest of the reps. Let him finish his game out. You know, at least we knew we were winning the game, but put him in there so you get the reps in and play the rest of the game out. You know, I just don't understand why Jimmy wanted to play through that thumb. I didn't understand that. I didn't. So it was like a
Well,
confusing thing with me.
well, I think he's doing it because he's essentially a free agent after this year because he's playing for future suitors, future teams that will invest a draft pick in as far as the trade goes. So he's not playing for what the team was best for the team at this point because he's basically been in limbo ever since we traded up to get Trey Lance. So I feel like he's doing it to, I feel like he said, okay, if it's an injury I can play through, it's in my best interest to try to play through it because what's been the biggest knock on Jimmy besides some of the things we complain about, the bonehead plays and the lack of upside, but the biggest thing is his availability. He's been injured a lot, and so a team that's willing to, you know, take a gamble on him, they're going to look at it and be like, okay, well, you're not even on the field that much. You know what I mean? So do we really want to invest in you? So I think he took it as, this is one of my chances to go out there and prove him that I can be that guy that's tough and goes out there and plays through injury.
Can you imagine it happen though if Trey does start and have Jimmy as backup? How much buzz that don't bring this weekend?
Hey, that's a good thing though because say if Trey gets hurt, I'd rather have Jimmy as a backup than Sudfield. You know?
That's the first thing I thought about. Like, since you're talking about that, and we were talking about two quarterback system. It's like, what if Trey starts and Cal gives him the keys to start, and then Jimmy becomes the backup? I was like, wow, man. Can you imagine that shit happening? That'd be
Man,
unreal.
that would be unreal.
It would be. Now I'm gonna show you guys this because I know I've been wanting to show you this ever since I saw it before we came on air. I wanted to see this so bad, and I hope I got this right. Yeah, I got it on there. Okay, here we go. Now, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. You see? You see who? Can you read all that? Read it
Yeah.
all out.
Got Jimmy Garoppolo, Trent Williams, Dre Greenlaw, Aziz Shahir, Marcel Harris, Maurice Hurst, and Jaquiski Tart.
Who's your surprise on this list?
Um, Really nobody really, to be honest with you, because I already knew all those guys were. Shahir is the questionable would be the one because I didn't think he could play unless we were to get a playoff berth.
My surprise was Hurst.
Oh, I
Cause
already knew he was coming back
yeah,
though. Yeah.
because he's been out for a while, man.
Wow,
He's been
yeah,
out for
but
a
man,
while.
that's even strengthening that line a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, man. Damn, man, that line's gonna be dangerous this weekend. They all stay healthy, man. Whew. That line's gonna be rotating like a son bitch, man. It's
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
rotating.
coming
Oh,
in waves, just that depth. You
hell
know.
yeah, man. That's one thing I love about that because yeah, because Dre, I hope Dre comes in there and just starts balling out. I hope he doesn't get knock on wood. Hope he doesn't get hurt. And same thing with Shair. Because Shair, man, that boy's a beast. He's a beast.
And I mean, I didn't think
And
he could take
and
over for Greenlaw because Greenlaw showed flashes last year too to being a elite linebacker. But now it looks like we're three deep as far as elite linebackers, and who knows? Because in our base package we only go with two linebackers usually. So maybe down the road one is trade bait. I don't know.
yeah, man, I got you, man. Yeah, like I said, mine was Hurst. No matter what, mine was Hurst. And I'm so glad that Greenlaw and Shair are in there. It'll take a lot of pressure off of Warner. A lot of
Yeah.
pressure. Because Warner's been balling out, I think, for the last couple of games. He has been.
Yes.
He has been. And I don't know if anybody will agree with me on that, or the faithful. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but he's been balling out really. Before all them two games, and he's been lacking down a little bit a few games before that. But he's been balling out for the last two games though. And
Yeah.
since we're getting Jair and Greenlaw back, whew, man. Whew.
The intensity's wrapping up a little bit, and
Hell
so
yeah, man. Hell yeah.
everybody knows it's like now there's no tomorrow, so everybody's going. I feel like this game, it's almost like a war. It's going to be like it's going to be a will of attrition between the two teams. Who wants it more? And it's a division game too, so it's bad blood too as well. Especially with Aaron Donald, Debo, they got their little feud going on, and McVay and Shanahan have their own little rivalry going on too. And I was listening to 95.7 the game this morning, the Bay Area station, and they said who has more to lose um, as far as I guess legacy, Stafford and McVay or Garoppolo and Shanahan. And I'm like, wait, hold on. We don't even know if Garoppolo's starting for one. You know what I mean? But I feel like if Garoppolo was starting, I feel like Shanahan and Garoppolo have the most pressure right now because for much different reasons. If Shanahan loses this, that'll be only one winning season in 5 years of his tenure. And Garoppolo, like I said before, he's playing for another team, and he's playing to like exercise, those demons of you know people saying you can't get the job done. You know.
Yeah, man, I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I do. And I mean, looking looking at the video of Garoppolo and Lance, I seen a lot of comments on them videos. And you can tell between both their velocities. And I know for a fact that Lance is a gunner. He can throw a gun, and that pass was a little pretty high that he threw. Was that Debo out there, or was that Ayuk? Do you know of that Debo he was throwing
I
to
couldn't
out there?
tell; it was too far away, and you couldn't see the
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
Yeah,
As any two I could think about, it was either Ayuk or Debo,
yeah.
and the one that Garoppolo threw, man, that was like a laser. That was a laser shot, man. Jeez, I can't believe he threw that bitch like that. That was very surprising by me. And
Like I said, if Garoppolo could play and go out there and start and get us a win, I'm happy either way because I just want to get the win. The win's the most important thing. It's not because I was looking at a poll on it's on Matt Barrow's feed on Twitter, and he said, "Who do you want to start?" Straight out to the fans on Twitter, and it was a 50-50. The poll was 50-50. And I was like, man, that's how divided we are as a fan base on who should actually start in this pivotal game.
I mean, if that's 50-50, wow,
And that was with over when 13,000 votes when I looked.
dude, if that's 50-50, can you imagine the hype that surrounds both them quarterbacks after if they find out whoever wins? I mean, well, I'm sure whoever wins it'll be up to Kyle, but whoever wins that on that votage, you know, and then have Matt Miyoko, you said who tweeted it out? That we said
Yeah, no, that was Matt Barrows.
Matt Burrow, and then have Matt Burrow all of a sudden close down the votes, and all of a sudden say, "Oh, here's your winner." Can you
Right.
imagine? Can you imagine whoever wins that between Gruffin and Lance? How bad that comments are going to be on that tweet.
Yeah, it, it's pretty bad for sure. 'Cause, there's a
He-
division between Lance backers and Garoppolo backers. And,
I'm sure I'll be asking this to a whole panel. We had the whole panel here. I'll be sure I'll be asking this. Who do you think gives us the best chance to win on Sunday with both those quarterbacks?
um,
I know. I probably hope I have everybody on tomorrow night where we can go over it. And hopefully, if I bring the question up, I'll tell you all of yours.
well, knowing what we know, I still think Lance. I'm confident in Lance. It's just knowing we know that um, the odds of Garoppolo going in there and completing the full game with that injury, it's just not high. You know what I mean? So if it's me, I think Lance gives us the better chance to win, and especially. And the reason I think Shanahan's going with this whole ordeal of trying to hide who he wants to start is because he doesn't want them to be able to game plan for Trey Lance. So, but if they were healthy, it'd be a different, way different, whole different ordeal. Like if they were healthy, I mean, Garoppolo started all year and he beat the Rams already once this year, so you probably want to go that way. And but we already know Garoppolo's not healthy, so it's Lance.
Yeah, bear with me. I'm trying to find the video of I forget who it was, but it was interviewing Jeff Garcia because
Oh
I
yeah,
know
I saw that one.
yeah that because Mark was saying something about that. You got to watch this. I'm trying to find out right now where it's at so I can play it for all of us. And
Send a text message to the group text, but yeah.
yeah. Um, I should try to see if I can send that to my messenger. I'll open up that way because I don't see it anywhere on the 49ers YouTube page. I don't see it nowhere.
While you're looking for it, so they asked Isaac Bruce. He got interviewed this morning on 95.7,
Who?
and Isaac Bruce, former
Isaac
Ram,
Bruce? Oh, really?
yeah, and They asked him, if you were on the Rams right now, who would you rather face, Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance? He said Jimmy Garoppolo because he says the things that Lance or players like Lance can do give defensive coordinators a lot of problems. You could guess right and still be wrong, basically.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna try to find that interview, and I'm gonna try to so we can watch it. And I just found it. I just found it. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it, or hopefully play on here. Okay, now I gotta find it on here. Okay, give me a second, Cal. Right there. Hold on a second, bud. All right, man. I found it. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Sorry about the wait, guys. Okay. And I turned it up. Hold
Biggest 49ers week of seasons that we have a big time guest. That is former 49ers quarterback Jeff Garcia. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, I'm good, David. Thanks for having me on, my man.
Where are you at? That background looks nice behind you. Big window.
I'm in Southern California. I'm in a little spot north of San Diego called Encinitas, and got a little view of the ocean back there. It's probably hard to tell with the sun setting, but beautiful views here. Fortunate to be in a great spot and raising my 4 kids and having a lot of fun doing it down here.
And I'm sure you've been keeping up on the 49ers. They're headed semi your direction, right? They'll be headed south for the game against the Rams here in week 18. Not quite all the way down to San Diego, but boy, this is a big one. You played in a lot of big ones. What are your thoughts entering this game? Because it might be do or die for the 49ers.
Oh, it is do or die. They have to win. They can't count on anything else happening with New Orleans losing or whatever the case may be, the scenarios. They need to handle their business. They need to go out there and show that they're capable of putting together a full 60-minute game in all 3 aspects of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. And I think that there have been times where during this season we've seen some great things out of the 49ers. Looked like they were starting to get their mojo back and be that team. And then all of a sudden they fall off of that consistency pace or trail. And that's the key to being successful in this game. You have to be consistent. Yes, you're going to have injuries. Yes, unfortunately, we're dealing with a different era, different time with COVID and losing players to that. And so how do you adjust? How do you overcome those type of situations? Well, that'll be interesting to see how the 49ers do it this weekend. Now, they've had the Rams number lately. Kyle Shanahan has done a great job of preparing this team to play against McVay and the Rams, and they've been able to overcome them, whether they've been the less explosive team or not. They played the Rams exceptionally well. Now, the Rams are a bit of a different team this year as well, with Matthew Stafford, with obviously the weapons. Cooper Kupp, with what he's been able to do this year, has been amazing. But the guys that he has at his disposal create some problems. So it'll be interesting to see how the 49ers adjust and adapt defensively, how they're able to overcome whatever missing pieces they have in the secondary. That's going to be critical come this Sunday. But the most important factor is going to be that quarterback play. How does Trey Lance handle this game? How does Jimmy Garoppolo handle the game if he has an opportunity to be back on the field? And how does Kyle work both them into the picture and create a dynamic that can be explosive and can be positive for the 49ers offense?
You know, it's fascinating because you rewind back to the preseason and even before then, when Kyle Shanahan was on the private jet going home from Columbus, Ohio, from Justin Fields' pro day, John Lynch said that he was already drawing up plays for Trey Lance. And obviously, in retrospect, we know that they were also planning on keeping Jimmy Garoppolo. So when you go back to that, and then you go back to the preseason and training camp when the 49ers were kind of mixing and matching both of them, at some point, Kyle Shanahan was obviously very interested in playing both of these quarterbacks this year. Now, he got away from that for various reasons. There were injuries to both of them at the start of the year. Obviously, Garoppolo got into a rhythm. Trey rode the bench for a while. But seasons change, right? You've played in the NFL, Jeff. You know that these seasons are long, grueling novels, and every week is a chapter. And the chapter in Tennessee dealt the 49ers something they weren't expecting when Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. And I just have to think that now, given the fact that Trey showed so much, right? I mean, he developed over the 3 months that we didn't see him. And we saw that progress against Houston. And the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo's back out at practice, I have to think that maybe Kyle Shanahan is thinking that he'll play both of these guys against the Rams. At least every single option seems to be on the table. To me, it seems like one of those Game 7 of the World Series types games where all hands do have to be on deck.
Yeah, you can't hold anything back in this situation. I think from a head coaching standpoint, especially an offensive-minded coach, you probably get into a rhythm during a game where it's difficult to really truly decide on what's the best scenario to give this other player opportunities. Now, when they drafted Trey Lance and they had Jimmy coming back, I looked at it as a perfect opportunity to create packages for each game where they would be critical moments in the game where you can substitute Trey Lance and give him 2 snaps on a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You could give him snaps on the goal line or inside the 5-yard line. You can give him snaps where you need a little different personnel at that position to give you different opportunities, a different dynamic. What Trey Lance can do with his legs, Jimmy Garoppolo just cannot do. And we know that. And he knows that. But you get into a point in the game where you're so focused on trying to create success for one guy, you probably lose track, or you're almost afraid to roll the dice to give the other kid the opportunity because you don't want it to backfire. And then you're having to answer questions. Well, he didn't get as many reps during the week of practice. Why are you throwing him in such a critical situation? Well, we prepared him for this situation. He knew that this was his opportunity. He has 10 plays to focus on that are his package, and we knew we were going in and going to be utilizing that. You're right, though. There were injuries that took place. Trey Lance got injured early when he had the opportunity against Arizona, and maybe the things just didn't ever materialize. The shame is you see every other quarterback that was drafted in the first round this season, whether they were before Trey or after Trey, they've gotten critical snaps. They've gotten a lot of snaps. And yes, Justin Fields has probably been the one guy that has not played as much as the other 3, but Trey Lance has played the least of all 5. And I would have thought, especially with the direction that this team could be going, with the transition at the quarterback position, preparing an up-and-coming guy, a young guy, a guy that you spent the number 3 pick in the draft on, that there would have been opportunities to prepare him so that if this position does happen, where now he's got to start a game. He's already experienced so many critical moments against good football teams leading up to this situation on Sunday. It'll be interesting to see how things go. I think if Jimmy can practice and shows that he's healthy enough, I think it would be hard for Kyle to not have Jimmy as his starter, just because he knows what Jimmy is capable of. He knows what he's going to get with Jimmy. He knows how to call a game with Jimmy because he's been doing it for the 4 years that Jimmy has been with the 49ers. He's not quite there with Trey Lance yet. He's still kind of learning what Trey's going to do in certain situations, how he's going to handle the pocket, how he's going to handle things outside the pocket. We know what he's capable of. We know the abilities that he has within himself, but how is he going to apply that when the game is on the line? He's had a couple opportunities this year, so he's had a couple trials, and he's gotten to see a little bit of that. But I just think that with the way the situation is, with the veteran being Jimmy, with the young guy being Trey, if Jimmy's healthy enough to go, I just don't see Kyle holding Jimmy back off the field.
But is it possible there might be some middle ground between those two, that Jimmy might be 70, 75%, or even Jimmy starts the game 90%. He's feeling good with the thumb, but he gets hit by Aaron Donald in the middle of the game. And then all of a sudden he's not so close to 100%. And I think in that scenario, which isn't totally implausible because the Rams can rush the passer and Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be 100%. We know the extent of this injury. It's a torn ligament in his thumb. So he's not going to be 100%. To me, it seems that there is some kind of gray area here where you might get a little bit of Garoppolo, but you'll also need a little bit of Lance to get through this game. And I think get weird, right?
I think if Jimmy isn't anywhere close to 90%, if he's at 75% or less, 85% or less is not a good Jimmy. He's not going to be a mobile guy. We already know that. He's going to be stuck in the pocket. If he doesn't have his accuracy, if he doesn't have the confidence in throwing the football accurately, on time, to the location that he needs to throw it to, then he's not any good for us. We can't take that chance. There have been too many times this season where Jimmy just hasn't been consistent enough, especially with this being his 8th year in the league, right around that, something along those lines.
8 or 9.
Yeah, and so there have been decisions that he has made that have been costly in games, and you cannot continue to make those. And I think just like the Baker Mayfield situation, here was a quarterback that was on the decline physically because of injuries, and it affected his decision-making mentally. Wasn't the same guy making decisions. Was almost afraid to pull the trigger in certain ways. Timing was off. Decision-making was off. Mental process of what was going on was off. Is that due to because the fact that he's injured, he's playing a little scared, he's a little gun shy, he's not real sure of himself, he almost feels like he needs to be perfect in every situation, every decision? Quarterbacks can't afford to play like that. Game happens too fast. You have to read and react. You almost have to be ahead of the reaction in order to make the play a positive. And if you're struggling physically, if you're not confident that you can make the throw, that you're a little bit off, it's going to affect everything else. It's going to affect the mindset, which is going to affect the decision-making, which is going to affect the accuracy or the critical errors that come into play. So because of that, I'm only saying Kyle will go with Jimmy if he thinks he's close to 100%. And due to the fact that, like you said, it's a ligament issue, it's in his thumb, on his throwing hand, he may not be able to overcome that. We're seeing that in practice this week. But yes, Trey's getting probably half the reps, if not more. And it's going to be important that, hey, no matter what happens on Sunday, both quarterbacks need to be able to be focused and ready to go Now it's on coach to make the decision. Hey, is Jimmy close to 90 plus? And I can be confident in him that he's going to go out there and play without thinking about the thumb and be aware of what he has to do? Or do I just go with Trey? Trey's ready. He's dynamic. I have a game plan for him. Hey, we'll put him in positions to be successful, and that's who we have to ride with. It's a critical decision.
What do you think about that so far, man?
I think he's spitting facts, man. Everything he's saying is legit, man. Like it's basically what I was saying before. Like if Jimmy's healthy, I could see that he might be the one that you would want to go to in this game. But when he says the 85 to 90 is where he lost me, because there's no way he could be at 85 or 90%.
I tell you, man, everything good for Creative Associate is saying correct and real on point. Because Kyle, I don't know what Kyle sees in Jimmy though. I mean, I don't know if it's his willing to play hard and willing to just play tough. I mean, it's not really about playing tough. It's just playing football, and just go out there and do your job and throw balls. I mean, he's not athletic. He can't run outside the pocket or nothing. So basically, just base everything on his arm. So, I mean, that's my thought about that, because I know he has an arm, quick release and everything, but he don't have a deep arm like, of course, Lance has. So, I agree with Greg Garcia about that, because put the kid in there, let him do his shit. That's what he went to college for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna play this out for 15 more minutes, and I'm gonna cut loose and everything and say goodbye to everybody, because I gotta pick my wife up and everything. So,
Okay.
all good.
Yeah.
All right, man. Here we go.
You know what's it is, and the mercurial nature of Garoppolo's play this year, to me, we talk about the inconsistencies, and they're all like really clumped together, right? And that's been damaging for the 49ers in games like Seattle, both times against Tennessee, right, where he threw those 2 picks. But then you have the clean games from Jimmy Garoppolo, and you could see the vision that Kyle Shanahan has. A great example was the first Rams game in week 10, 15-19. He doesn't throw a lot, but he was money on those third downs to allow the 49ers to run 44 times. What do you see in Jimmy in between the good games and the bad games? Is there a rhyme or reason to why the 49ers can get good Jimmy one week, but then the guy that will throw those 2 picks that make you wonder and really hurt them in any other week?
Yeah, I really think it comes down to just how he processes information, his pre-snap read, what he's focused upon, how he sees defenses rotate. I know many of his interceptions this year came on just a lack of recognition of rotation. And all of a sudden, a safety being in the middle of field, or a linebacker dropping into his zone, and him just not being aware and throwing into coverage, which led to turnovers, which led to poor decisions, those sort of things. Is it a matter of he's not seeing rotation, he's not recognizing safeties? Is he being a robot? Hey, I'm taught that this is what I see in the pre-snap. I'm already eliminating certain things. Well, as we know, as NFL quarterbacks, every defense is going to show a little different picture. They're not going to truly give you exactly what they do. There are certain teams that you can start to basically corner, in the sense that, hey, they run 2 or 3 coverages. There aren't as many teams that are like the old Tampa, where they ran 3 coverages. They ran cover 2 Tampa with the Mike linebacker running down the middle. They ran cover 3 zone, or they played cover 1 man, meaning single safety man throughout. They were simple, but they were effective because they did it so well. Same thing with the Seattle Seahawks. They went through a phase where they were pretty much all single safety middle. It was going to be zone, or it was going to be man. Linebackers drop to the same spot every time. Well, teams start to get different, start to change up their looks. And for me, with Jimmy, Is he processing? Is he seeing the field? Is he missing opportunities? When I talk about missing opportunities, I'm talking about a pre-snap alert and a post-snap alert. Do I see a matchup that I like? Do I want to take a shot over the field? We don't see him stretch the field a whole lot. We don't see a lot of just straight go throws. We see manufactured play action, deep throws where, hey, the tight end crosses shallow and then breaks down the sideline, or the fullback, Juszczyk, does the same thing. There was a critical miss in that Tennessee game of Juszczyk wide open on the sideline. If you just throw it to him, he probably scores.
Yeah, he was wide open.
Touchdown, not getting that was a critical miss in that game. Situations in the Seattle game, you do a heck of a job moving the ball down the field. You get first down inside the 10-yard line. Now, I'm not putting this all on Jimmy, but from a coaching perspective, did we get too conservative running the football on first and second down? And now we put ourselves in a difficult situation on 3rd and 5, 4th and 5, whatever the case may be. And now that's on Jimmy to make a great decision and a great throw in a tight window. You know, and we lost that game probably as a team and as a coaching staff, I believe, because we did get conservative in those final 4 downs when we got close to the end zone. I don't care if you leave a minute on the clock for Russell Wilson or 30 seconds, your defense has to make a stop. Rely on your defense making a stop. Let's just score a touchdown. If it happens on first down, it happens on first down. That being said, you know, there are things from a quarterback that I would love to see in the quarterback meeting room in San Francisco and on the practice field. How do you play from within the pocket? When I see Jimmy play, he gets to the end of his drop and he's stagnant. There's no hitch up in the pocket. There's no attack in the line of scrimmage. There's no feet going in one direction for number 1, feet going to number 2, number 3, and then I'm off and running. It's stagnant at the end of the drop, 7 yards deep. That's why he gets sacked so much. He puts a lot of pressure on his offensive tackles. Defensive ends know where he's going to set up. They know that if we just keep the pocket tight, condense it, there's nowhere for him to go. He's not a scare for us to worry about as far as extending the play or getting outside the pocket. So we could just squeeze the pocket, push it from the front, squeeze it from the back, and now we've got him locked in like a caged dog.
Well, Kyle Shanahan obviously wanted mobility when he traded up to number 3. And I think, you know, that was all over the fingerprints of this trade, right? Was the desire to take Kyle Shanahan's offense to the next level. And we know Mike Shanahan is Kyle's dad, so Kyle learned from him, and Mike Shanahan coached your predecessor with the 49ers, Steve Young, as the offensive coordinator there in the early 90s, and then he had John Elway, and those are both great examples of quarterbacks that have worked in this system who are also mobile, and obviously the system has evolved over the years, but it's still based in that outside zone run game. That's still so important to the 49ers. But when the quarterback also has legs and the quarterback also has a howitzer for an arm, as we've seen from Trey Lance already on the field. I mean, he made some really, really impressive throws against the Houston Texans. It completely changes the way that defenses play you. So we see what Kyle Shanahan envisions as the ceiling for this offense in the future. And I think it's really high with Trey Lance. But there's obviously a lot of development to go to get to that ceiling. So with that established, what did you think of what Trey showed in week 5 against Arizona when he was obviously still really raw, and what he showed in week 17 against Houston, where I thought the game plan was different? He was much more comfortable in the pocket. And obviously there was a lot of progress made in those 3 months. What was your take on the behind the scenes work that Lance did that he obviously showcased against the Texans?
Well, I think he definitely showed confidence and showed the ability to make good decisions, to grow within the system, to utilize the system as far as making great choices, being accurate with the football, being a good decision maker, still threw a pick. But, you know, that being said, it was two different teams too. You're talking about the Arizona Cardinals, who at the time when San Fran played them, they were a hot team. They were playing great football. They were one of the top defense in the National Football League, explosive offensively. Then you go to the Houston Texans, a team coming off of a big win that was very surprising versus the LA Chargers, but not a great football team, a team that is looking for its own identity, has gone through multiple quarterbacks, has gone through their own share of problems this year. And, the 49ers went out and did what they should do to a team like that. They took advantage of the opportunity. They were stronger. They were more aggressive. It took a little while to get going. It was a slow first half. But from the standpoint of his personal growth, I thought that he handled the game well. I don't think he was exceptionally exciting or played out of his mind, but he did what he needed to do in order for that team to win a football game. This is going to be a whole different atmosphere come Sunday in LA, which I plan to be there with my kids.
Oh, nice.
Hey, root for the Niners, being part of the Niner faithful, but it's going to be exciting, because everything's on the line. I mean, the Rams got a chip because they know the 49ers have had their way with them over the past 3 seasons. And the Niners need this. They need this to get back into the playoffs. And so it's going to be a heck of a ball game. It's going to be a heck of a crowd, a heck of an environment there in SoFi. And it will be interesting if Trey is the guy to see how he handles the situation, to see if the situation is bigger than him, bigger than he is. I think if he goes out there and he plays within himself, they utilize the run game to build the play action movement game. To be able to have a quarterback that can play sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone, like Trey is capable of doing, like a Patrick Mahomes does, where he puts pressure on a defense from sideline to sideline and end zone to end zone. Trey's that type of guy. Is he there yet? No. He has work to do and progress to make. But he can be that type of guy that threatens you on the edge, threatens you up the middle, threatens you in all aspects, in all areas of the game. You gotta be good in your decisions, and when there's a mistake, you can't dwell on the mistake. STM, short-term memory, you gotta move on.
He had that against the Texans. I was really impressed that he was able to bounce back from that interception. And, you see a lot of quarterbacks, especially with Shanahan. This happened a lot with Mullins and Beathard. They would look good with the opening game script, and then they would fall off in the second half. I think you'd rather have it the other way around, right? You'd rather have the guy struggle early, but build as the game went along. And that's what Trey Lance did against the Texans. He bounced back from the pick. You talk about the impressive throws. I really love that slant to Ayuk, that Ayuk bounced off the tackler and ran for 40 yards downfield. And then everybody's going to be talking about the deep on the Deebo Samuel, which I thought Trey placed in such a way that the cornerback had no chance to get it. He almost slightly, intentionally underthrew it, even though it was a deep ball and Deebo could come back to it and the corner didn't. I thought that was a small nuance to Trey Lance's game that we hadn't necessarily seen before, that he probably was working on over those past 3 months. But if I had one concern, Jeff, and I think Shanahan has the same concern, it's that Trey Lance needs to hit the gimmies that he gets early in the game. And Shanahan's going to scheme up some gimmies, right? A good example was that one in the flat to Kyle Juszczyk. It was a completion, yes, but Juszczyk had to reach down into the ground to get it, and he stumbled, and he only got 2 yards. And he probably would have gotten 5 or 6 had it hit him in stride. Because of that, the 49ers faced 2nd and 8 instead of 2nd and 5, and they ended up punting, right, on that possession. So as a quarterback, it must be harder. I mean, I haven't played quarterback in the NFL. This is why I'm asking you this, but it must be a lot harder than it looks on TV to hit that quick gimme at the start of a game. What can Trey Lance do to make sure that he's hitting on the short game, since that's so important within the context of Kyle Shanahan's scheme, given the fact that he's already succeeding in some of the longer game?
So much of it is footwork, it's timing, it's rhythm. When it comes down to being accurate as a quarterback, not every throw you're going to be able to have your feet under you, and you're going to have to learn to work your arm from all different angles, much like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers can make every throw accurately, and his feet could be facing all different directions. Not everybody is capable of that right now. And I think especially for a young guy, it's critical to get your body, to get your feet going in the right direction, to throw on time, to throw with rhythm. When you do that, your window, your margin for error is very small in the National Football League. And what the 49ers are so great at are yards after catch. And if you can hit them in stride, hit them in that small 12-inch by 12-inch window right here and keep them going, you have a chance for so much more productivity. When you force a guy to catch a ball at his feet, to lay out, to reach above his head, to expose him, it's going to put your guys in difficult situations, and they're probably not going to be as productive. You're not going to be as productive. So that's something that always has to be worked on. It doesn't start on game day. It's every day in practice with directional throws, hitting a hand. Guys are putting their hands in different places, and you're throwing your ball right there on point because your feet are going in the right direction. Your hips are facing the right direction. Everything starts from your feet and works their way up. Your eyes are telling you one thing. Your feet are following through with your eyes. Your arm follows your feet, your hips. And hey, that's how we can be as accurate as possible. Now, as things go along, you're going to have to make the off-balance throws. You're going to have to throw with people in your face. You may have to jump over someone to make a throw. Those things are going to happen. But more oftentimes than not, 60 to 70% of the time, you're throwing from within the pocket. And if you can do it the correct way, using proper mechanics, getting your feet going in the right direction, stepping in the target location, and everything else can follow, you can be a more accurate quarterback. And that's something young guys have to continue to work on. The game is so much faster in the National Football League than it ever was in the collegiate level. And so adapting and adjusting to that, where your feet are moving faster, your decision is faster, your arm has to get going faster. All those things have to speed up. So how do you control that? How do you slow it down but yet speed it up, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great point. And with everything.
Yo, man, this interview is freaking awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, this is a good one. I actually watched this when he posted it on the.
You watched? Okay.
And it's funny that he's mentioning mechanics at this part right here, because Jeff Garcia had the weirdest mechanics out of all quarterbacks, pretty much. And I can remember he jumped around in the pocket a lot. You know, like you never saw a quarterback do that before, and it seemed like that would upset your rhythm or your accuracy. But I agree with everything he's saying, and yeah, I feel like as far as what he was saying before that, and everything he's been saying throughout, it leads me even more to saying that we just put Lance in, and win or lose, he's going to get a valuable. He'll get a valuable experience in a playoff type atmosphere.
Yeah, I got you, man. I know I'm probably gonna finish it tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna have everybody with me or not, but I'll probably finish sometime tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna do that, and I'm probably gonna do pressures tomorrow afternoon. So I don't know if you're available, or if Mark is, or Lawrence, or all of these are available tomorrow. But I know Troy's probably still doing his thing. So if you guys are available, you're more than welcome to come on. If not, I'm just gonna do that rest of that interview, and I'm probably gonna do pressers. That way everybody can see that. So I'll let you know if I do, when I do go on and everything. If you want to pop on, it's up to you. Okay. So I want to thank everybody, whoever watched. I know there's only one person watching. It's probably my wife. She's probably waiting for me to get going. I got to pick her up and all. So
all right.
I'll just see you tomorrow night, man. Then if you want to make it tomorrow night.
All right, thank you.
Later, guys. Later.